the stress of the mating season long behind them. In the past, grazing in the river might have helped them avoid predators, such as leopards and tigers. Our crew must film in the river again. There's no telling where landmines might have been washed by floods. The water is now warm enough for Korean chub to start spawning. The fish rub passionately as they simultaneously release eggs and sperm. As soon as they're finished, a skin carp moves in to gobble up as much as it can. Egg predation is one reason the chub will spawn several times over the next few days. At the back of the firing range, it's time for the ruddy kingfishers to persuade their chicks to leave the nest for the first time. One of the parents returns with food, but refuses to give it to the chicks. Hunger is a powerful motivator. For the next few weeks, the chicks will follow their parents around, learning to fend for themselves. One of the mountain goats, or gorals, has a youngster too. The crow isn't just making a nuisance of itself. Hidden in the goral's coat are insects it wants to feed on. For the first time in several months, the camera crew feels a chill in the air. Summer has passed all too quickly, and autumn leaves are appearing. Early autumn means the end of harvest time on farms south of the border, in the civilian control zone. Grain left lying on the ground attracts huge flocks of migrating geese. The crew spots a rare visitor to Korea, a snow goose. Migrating swan geese from Russia prefer the mudflats of the river estuary. Swan geese are under threat from overhunting and have been recognized as the most vulnerable goose species in the world. Some of the arrivals wear bands. Russian scientists are working on a plan to protect the species, the Korean border zone will play a crucial role. Standing over a metre or 3 foot tall, they're a very large goose. They get their name from their long, swan-like necks, and just like swans, they dig deep into the mud for the most tender roots. Bean geese have also arrived from the north. Their name comes from their habit of grazing on bean field stubble, but here in the danger zone, they too feed on roots. By mid-autumn, the cranes appear again, escaping the severe winter in China and Russia, where they've spent the summer breeding. Their usual diet is insects, seeds and roots, but leftover grains from the harvest make an easy first meal. Many have this year's chick with them, easy to spot by their brown heads. They're only a few months old, but some started their journey in Siberia, headed over the Russian plains and down through southern China to finally arrive at the Korean border zone. A journey that can take over a month. Soon, the red-crowned cranes arrive back too. This family group has flown more than 5,000 kilometers, over 3,000 miles, all the way from the Russia-Mongolia border. It's an incredibly hard journey, and some pairs arrive back having lost their youngster along the way. Just like the white-naped cranes, they feed on leftover grains to build up their strength. Cranes are unusual in that young aren't born with an instinct telling them when and where to migrate. They must learn the route from their parents and remember it well. Calling and leaping in the air are ways for males to establish a pecking order without the need to fight. With winter approaching, it's time for the spotted seals to return to their breeding grounds in northern China, where they'll find rich fish stocks. Once they leave the safety of the danger zone, life becomes a lot more difficult. Some are trapped in fishing nets, others hunted, while a few are even captured to sell to zoos. Not all will be back next year. November in the danger zone brings the first flakes of snow. It's the start of a bitterly cold winter for the soldiers. Faced with weather like this, you'd wonder why the cranes migrate here. But temperatures where they've come from drop much lower. In Siberia, winter temperatures reach minus 50 Celsius. That's minus 58 degrees Fahrenheit. Here in Korea, it's a much warmer minus 20 Celsius, only minus 4 Fahrenheit. In Asian folklore, cranes are believed to live for 1,000 years and are symbols of happiness and longevity. They pair for life and constantly reaffirm their bond by calling and dancing together. The crew captures a site unique to the danger zone. Rare white-naped and red-crowned cranes feeding together. Gradually, more and more arrive, until over 3,000 are gathered on the fields. Fights break out between the males, as one makes unwanted advances on another's mate. With food now short, there are even fights between the two species. The cranes take to the air again, but this time they're not going far. Follow them, and you discover one of the danger zone's hidden secrets. In the long-distant past, a volcano erupted here, creating a hot spring that's a warm oasis. The cranes gather here because even in the depths of winter, there are plants to eat. The hot springs are a haven in a world now frozen solid.
是强档影集《谎言终结者》。
I understand why. Have you ever had any specialized deception training?
I've dated a lot of men.
提姆·罗斯。
But he shows deeper shame than politicians who've been caught cheating on their wives.
凯莉·威廉斯。
You know, generally, it's not a good idea to call your boss an idiot.
谎言终结者》全新第2季，周一至周五晚间。